Hello, and welcome to my channel. Vice Rhino here, Cirrus over there.
Am I, though? Like, I think we just established that I'm hardly here.
Maybe, but I do have a statement I'd like to make.
Okay, I have a response to that statement, probably.
The things that I said that got me banned from Twitch for a month, it wasn't actually me, it was an unpaid intern.
Ah, you know what? You are Representative Andy Oglaze. You are correct here. It was an unpaid intern from your account, with your voice, with everything. I believe you, actually. As an American citizen, I believe you.
This should be the last stream where I'm banned from Twitch. I should be. I logged in today. It said I had 2 days left. So
you know, until you decide to be a little edgy boy again later on.
Jessa says I can't hat him here. I know, it's been so nice. I hate the hats. But I know that's what makes it fun for you guys. Wouldn't be fun if I liked it, you sick fucks.
Jeez.
I like you just have no comment for that.
No, what comment would I have? We share a lot of people in our audience, and I agree they are sick fucks.
Oh, I am probably going to have to let the dog in at some point.
Okay.
I know that's usually a you thing, but yeah, I let her out. She was acting like she had to go out, so I let her out, and then she just stood on the porch staring at me. So I went to try and get her back in, and then she was like, "Oh, you're chasing me? That means play." And then she ran away. So I'm like, and that was like 5 minutes before the stream.
You're who let the dogs out.
I am who let the dogs out. And she's adorable, and I did take a break from work today to play fetch with her in the backyard, but I didn't have time for that tonight, so I just let her go, and when I hear her yipping at the door, I will go let her back in.
Speaking of animals, no, PewDiePie, you've come here. You are here to get love. That is how this works now, child.
What is love? Baby, don't hurt me.
Hello, small fluffy child. How are you? That's right. Fuck off.
Anime Otoku says, I found a Magikarp hat online that might fit your head, but not over the headphones. Yeah, that's a problem that I often have. Is it like a knit hat like my octopus one? Or is it like a ball cap? Because the ball caps, I don't really mind just taking the headphones off for a sec, putting it on. And But yeah, the knit hats, like my octopus hat, I love the hat, but I hate that hat. If you know what I mean.
You love it, but you hate it?
Yes. Because it's a great hat. Somebody lovingly knit that together. Not just for me. I've actually seen other content creators wear it. Crochet, not knit. Whatever. I don't know the difference. One is where you do the tit, and the other is where you do the tit, and I don't know which one is which.
Neither do I.
Nor do I care.
I have not learned what that means, nor will I.
Yeah, it's one of those things that I don't need to waste my brain power on because I'm not into either of them. I do appreciate the skill that it takes. And I do love the hat. But it is uncomfortable because I hate hats to begin with and it's tight on me, so it's extra uncomfortable. But yeah. Anyway, didn't we just finish calling your audience autistic or you called them autistic or something?
I mean, I don't have to call them autistic. They just know.
Oh, no, you were arguing with someone who well actually you. And then your audience was like, hey, we're a bunch of autists here. Well, yeah, actually is our version of fun fact.
Yeah, no. When somebody well actuallys me, I'm going to respond to them as if they well actually me.
That's a very autistic response. They meant it as a fun fact, and you took it literally. Okay. I was watching that whole thing going down, and I was on the chatter's side for that discussion. I was like, Cirrus, you're getting way too worked up about this.
I won't be on the chatter side there because that particular chatter we've had this particular style of altercation once a month for the past 5 years.
Well, maybe you just need to learn to take them not so literally.
No. You can learn to use words in a way that is understandable by other people.
No.
Okay, well, we agree to disagree. More conflict at 11.
That's not what that means. That means you agree with me.
Well, actually.
So yeah, DS84G says, as a diagnosed autistic, that is too funny. Yeah, so Cirrus and I are both undiagnosed. I am diagnosed ADHD, and a bunch of my kids are autistic. So there is a very high chance that I am also. And also my partner, who is a therapist who has training specifically in recognizing signs of various neurodivergencies. She is set. She told me that by the second date, she knew I was autistic. And I've talked about this on stream before. Is a bunch of my autistic ass audience agreed with me on this and was like, that's just a normal way to do it. But one of the things that tipped her off was in the early days when we'd be on the phone and she would say goodbye, I would say goodbye and then hang up. And she'd be like, aren't you supposed to do that? No, you hang up. No, you hang up. But I love you. Aren't you supposed to do that thing first?
I don't think I've ever done the you hang up thing. I think it's always been, the conversation's over? Cool. I'm going to go play video games.
Yeah, you said goodbye. That means we are done talking. So I will say goodbye and hit the little red button that hangs up. And apparently she was very taken aback by that the first time I did it.
That's just what you do. Like, why would I spend the next 5 minutes back and forthing when you have things you enjoy doing and I have things I enjoy doing?
And it's not just the like, oh no, you hang up thing. It's like my partner's mother will do that. Like they'll say goodbye and then she'll just start talking about the next thing and just keep going and going. And apparently that is a fairly normal.
The Midwestern goodbye.
I thought the Midwestern goodbye was when you say, well, and slap your thigh.
So the Midwestern goodbye is that, and then the only way you possibly can get out of the conversation after the third or fourth time you've been re-roped in is by saying, time to hit the old dusty trail. Otherwise, you're stuck there forever.
Yeah. Anyway, happy Pride, everyone.
Yay! Happy Pride! Let's go be homophobic towards Dave Rubin.
Wearing my Love Wins shirt. I don't know, somebody posted on Blue Sky saying, what turned you gay? Just like as a joke, and people were giving joke responses. So I threw my hat in the ring and I retweeted it and I was like, or I guess re-skeeted it is what they call it. I think that's stupid. Don't call it skeeting.
Fuck that. No, every word you just said made me unreasonably angry. Stop.
But I reposted it and I was like, there was a chemical spill at work. I was working at the water treatment facility where we were putting chemicals in the water to make the frickin' frogs gay.
Jesus.
So that's what turned me gay.
I see. I understand. What a queer.
Yeah. That I am.
Apparently.
All right. Shall we get into news?
I can't think of anything else I'd rather do right now, so sure.
I can think of a lot of things I'd rather do right now.
I mean,
But
the
my
fact
partner's
that
not home, so that's not an option right now.
said your partners aren't home, so
My
that's not
partner is not
plural?
home.
Oh, I was gonna say, wait, is there a development that's happened recently? Neat.
No. We have both, so we don't really have sexual jealousy. However, neither of us have the capacity for a third person in the relationship, so it's not like we could never be poly just because.
Time.
Nah, it also like she always like we always have to be each other's like if we were to ever do sex stuff with other people, we still have to make sure that each other are happy and taken care of with that situation. The other person is the one who like it's like no, it not we don't care about you, but like that's like I'm not really worried about you as long as you're consenting. If you like if you get upset later about it, then it doesn't matter. But like we got to be. I'm not explaining it well.
Yeah, this is sounding worse the more words you use.
It's not a situation that really comes up. So
Just like how many ways can Vice Rhino explain I'm a selfish lover if it's not my primary partner?
I mean, that is kind of it.
That's why I understand what you're getting to. That's why I'm cutting it there because I know what it is.
It's not even selfishness so much. It's just she is my primary focus. You're the secondary. Yeah. And that's always going to be the dynamic. So to have a third person in the relationship as a partner would not be fair to that person because they would never be on equal footing.
And there's always going to be, especially in polyamorous circles, there's going to be plenty of people who are not okay with the primary secondary dynamic. There's a lot of people who straight up think that it's abusive isn't the right word, but bordering on it is how some people view it. Where like you have to actively belittle one person in the group in order to have them there, and it makes them feel lesser. Like I've seen various takes on it, and usually not super great.
Yeah, well, it's just I don't have the emotional capacity for that. So, like, one is enough.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay. Yeah, let's get on to the news. That's what I was going to do before we got distracted by sex.
Hell yeah, the news.
So this was sent to me by my anonymous source. There's a new law in Utah that allows students to opt out of coursework that conflicts with their religious beliefs.
My religion is math is evil and it was brought by Satan. I never have to do math.
They thought of that, Cyrus. They have closed that loophole.
They can't. They actively can't. They don't get to determine
what's
in my brain. No. Seriously, they don't get to determine what's in my brain. They don't know my religious belief.
That is literally the example they used as a thing that would not be covered by this law.
Then they shouldn't have written the fucking law because they don't know what my religion is.
I agree they shouldn't have written the fucking law.
They don't know what my religion is. My religion is anti-math. I'm sorry. It's of the fucking devil. If you do calculus to me, I'm just going to think that you're speaking in tongues. No. Fuck off. No, that wouldn't be... Oh, so you're saying that the law only works, but there's some exceptions to the law? Is that what you're saying? No, fuck off.
So I don't know if this is the official name of it. It doesn't say in the article, but my anonymous source, when he emailed it to me, he said that it's Fulnecky's law, which, if you'll recall, Fulnecky was the person who got mad at the school because they gave her a 0 for not doing the assignment. Where, like, she answered a science question with Jesus, and got a 0 for that because that wasn't the question. And so now they made a law being like, you can do that, or just not do the assignment to begin with. So the student is taking an introductory film studies class. They assigned Jaws, and then they assigned a Spanish movie called Women on the Verge of a Nervous Breakdown. She watched those, did the assignments. Third video was Pariah. She looked it up. It's a coming-of-age film about a young woman who turned away from her conservative family to live as a lesbian. Which, I'm not sure I like that description. Like, it's not turning away from your family to live as a lesbian. It is turning towards yourself, and then your family is turning away from you if that's not okay with them.
Nah, it's just turning away the Lebanese. That's what it is. It has to be. It has to be against the conservatives. It has to always be against them.
That's the thing, though. Like, I feel like this article is written fairly not friendly to the law, but not hostile to it either. Like, they're trying to do the neutral thing, but then phrasing stuff like this makes me think like, okay, you're in favor of this law because like you're not turning away from your conservative family to just live as yourself. You are just living as yourself, and they turned away. It's like we're experiencing this right now, which I'm not going to go into a lot of details, but my partner's family is a lot of them she's going no contact with. And it's like we're not going no contact because we are turning away from them. It's they are refusing to be respectful of us, and so we're just not like that's a boundary. Like, if you want to apologize and say that's okay, then we can talk again, but they're just not. So yeah, that strikes a little close to home right now. The way they're phrasing that is like that's not how it is. That's not the case.
Yeah,
like,
I'm not turning away from my family. I'm telling you this is how I am, and it's up to you whether or not you accept me.
Like, my mother's actually a really good example of this because she is a Christian. She is conservative, but she's a weird brand of conservative. So like she's not fully LGBTQ affirming or whatever, but she's not against it either. And like when I have multiple kids that came out as trans or whatever, and she was fine with using their chosen names, but at first she was not okay with the pronouns. She was like, I can't do.
Of course you have blue hair and pronouns.
No, she was like, she told me I can't do, like, I corrected her on it once, and she said, I can't do that. And so then I sat her down, I had a conversation, I explained to her that the research has shown that having family members that are not affirming, that refuse to use pronouns and stuff like that, increases the risk of suicide. Soon as I said that, she was like, you mean me using those pronouns could make them kill themselves? I was like, I'm not going to put it that bluntly, but it will increase the risk. Yes. And immediately, like, she's actually gotten better. Like, I'm still bad at the they. The they does not come naturally to me, especially someone that I like. If I'm introduced as like Piper, I've never had a problem with Piper calling them they. I almost said calling them gay, but I don't know if Piper is gay. But yeah, no, I've never had a problem calling Piper they. But my oldest child is non-binary, and they go by they. But I still slip up and say she.
You just have to sit there and remember that in a few weeks, June's over. No more theys, no more gays.
But my dear old mother, who is conservative, set in her ways, as soon as she realized that her using the wrong pronouns could cause the kids harm, she was like, "No, I'm changing immediately," and it was fine. So like, that is what it should be. It should be like, yeah, I might have views that disagree with this, but I'm not going to force them on you. I'm going to respect you as a person. Like, that's the right way to do it.
Ideally. The reality is there's a ton of people, and you already know this, who, when you correct them, they just start tightening up their britches and go, no, you don't get to tell me what to do.
Well, yeah, that's what my
mother... like I did just a second ago.
That is what my mother started to do. But like, when I actually went over the details of it with her, she changed her mind. So like that's the right way to do it. And so as a result, my mother is still in my life and is still in my kid's life. She is an influence that I don't particularly enjoy in some ways, because she does try to talk to them about God and take them to church and stuff. And I'm just like, really? But yeah, unless she's not with them often enough that that's actually going to take hold, I don't think.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, aside from that, she's great. Anyway, so Yeah, she's a freshman at Weber State University, a devout Catholic and a political conservative, and she felt uneasy about this film. She didn't want to watch it, and the idea of writing a paper on it made her even more uncomfortable. Guess what? If you're not uncomfortable in a film studies class, then the professor's not doing it right.
You shouldn't be in a film studies class if you're not willing to engage in things that make you uncomfortable.
Here's the thing. You don't even have to agree with it, because, like, you know what one of the most groundbreaking films of history was that every film student should be required to watch? Birth of a Nation.
Yeah.
Absolutely terrible film. They pioneered so many techniques that are still used to this day, like the montage. That was the first film that ever made use of a montage. And now, like, everybody knows what a montage is. Every movie has a montage. It was pioneered in that racist piece of shit. Like, the filmmakers who made that movie were very competent people.
They knew what they were doing.
And watching that movie would make me very uncomfortable. But if I was in a film studies class, I would expect that at some point I'm going to have to watch it.
I'm just going to say, in general, and this may be because I recently watched a video on this, and it kind of stuck with me. I don't remember the YouTuber who made the video. I'm actually actively looking through my history right now to find it, so I can credit them with this. But there's a video I watched recently about how we suck at media analysis. And one of the main reasons that we suck at media analysis is the fact that we desperately try to moralize media. We do everything in our power to try to argue that certain media is moral, isn't moral, shouldn't be consumed, should be consumed for a variety of reasons. And the end result of it is people stop thinking about what media is telling them. They stop thinking about what it says. They stop thinking about the world in which it was made. That the point of that one specifically was the character Byron, I think, from How I Met Your Mother, how much of like an actual like sex pest he is. But simply sitting there and looking at it and going, well, that didn't age well. Shut the fuck up. Everybody knows that. Congratulations. You're super special. Now, why did the culture around there find that acceptable? That is a far more interesting conversation than that didn't age well. So, like, I'm scrolling through all of my shit and I can't find the actual video. But the thesis of the video was, hey, media literacy dies when we start moralizing media as much as we do. Another example that was given was Harry Potter, where it was, hey, people who try to take the stance that you should not be able to even read or see. Like, you give no money, you pirate the damn thing, you've done nothing to affect anything, and there are people who still have the opinion you should not be allowed to consume the media. No, fuck off, fuck you. I don't get tainted when I read a book. I learn more.
I think Harry Potter has been a fascinating study in people's increasing interest in media literacy, because, like, when it was coming out, it was unthinkable that someone would not like it. Like, yeah, there were a handful of critics that were like, this isn't even well written. I don't understand why the kids are going nuts over this. But, like, it was so popular. Everybody, like, I'm not going to pretend like I didn't like it when it came out. I absolutely did. But, like, looking back on it now, it's like, yeah, there are massive, massive problems with the stories that absolutely should have bothered me more than they did. And
Olurinati is the YouTuber. I just found it. Sorry. Olurinati, Olurinatti, and it was How This Didn't Age Well Destroyed Media Literacy. Fantastic video. Also goes into propaganda a lot. It's really good.
Yeah, Olivia, before I forget, said same for Triumph of the Wills. So yeah, with regards to absolutely horrible movie with a horrible message that was very competently made and pioneered a bunch of film techniques. Triumph of the Wills, if you're not familiar, that's the German propaganda thing that was basically a documentary of the Nuremberg rally. It's where a lot of the footage of Hitler and the Nazis come from that we're all familiar with. And again, very well done. Would make me very uncomfortable to actually have to watch it. And could very easily be an integral part of a media studies class.
I am very much of the opinion people even if you moralize media a lot, because I can understand if you're the kind of person that really wants to moralize your media as much as you can, But even if you are, at the very least, you should be willing to consume that media in order to understand the perspective of the person that you disagree with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Because you can't fight against it if you aren't willing to at least learn its rhetoric.
absolutely. But, so this new state law offers these students a unique protection. If something in class conflicts with their strongly held religious or personal beliefs, students can ask their professor for an alternative assignment or exam. So, yeah, I guess it's not.
You just
it's
make
not,
the alternative assignment or exam one that will make them infinitely more uncomfortable and make sure that the law has a no takesies backsies clause.
I feel like that would lose based on malice, the same as the Masterpiece Cake Shop thing.
Oh well.
Harry Potter, formerly hated by Christians because of magic, now boycotted due to their creator being a raging transphobe.
And now loved by the exact same Christians who boycotted it 20 years ago.
I'm actually curious about Donald James Parker's view on Harry Potter now, because fighting against Harry Potter was one of the things that got him to start making movies in the first place. And it's really funny because when you talk about it, he always lumps Harry Potter in with the sexual revolution, but the way he says it, it sounds like the title of a Harry Potter book. He calls it Harry Potter and the Sexual Revolution. I'm just like, that's the one where he hit puberty, if you know what I mean. But yeah, I'd be interested to know if he's changed his views on that in light of J.K. Rowling being on his side of a lot of things. But did you see Forrest respond to the movie that he made?
Forrest respond to the movie that Forrest made?
No, Forrest. Did you not know that Gramps, Donald James Parker, made a movie about Forrest Valkai?
No, I didn't.
Oh, well, he did. And Forrest then joined the God Awful Movies guys to make fun of it. And then he did a more serious response on his channel, which is 2 hours and 45 minutes long.
I mean, Forrest is nothing if not thorough. That's why we have 2 Sex and Sensibilities videos.
Yeah. And it's really good. It's the worst movie ever. Well, okay, Jassa says it's the worst movie ever. Clearly, Jassa, you have not seen The Unexpected Bar Mitzvah, one of Donald James Parker's other movies, that the moral of the story is friends don't let friends be Jewish.
Oh my fucking God.
And it literally has a scene where the Jewish father, when his son admits that he is converted to Christianity, the Jewish father rips his shirt and screams, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu! Which is just a Jewish blessing. It's not a thing that you would scream as you rip your clothing. They were just like, what are some Jew words? That was what they came up with.
Oh my God.
It is wild. I will when I post this as a clip, I will link to my video covering part of the movie that they made about Gramps made about Forrest, and I do use a clip of the Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu thing. So yeah, go watch that. He also has a movie where he almost ruins his relationship by once having had consensual sex with a lady, like not even cheating on anyone, just before I even met you, I once had consensual sex. And then the person that he almost ruined the relationship with just starts crying and is like, have you been tested for sexually transmitted diseases? Especially AIDS? It's something else.
So, I want to make fun of that. I really do. But the girl who I lost my virginity to had been with a bunch of people before me. We were like 15 at the time, so, do math. But after we broke up, I remember being scared for myself and asking her to get tested. It's a similar thing, and just the immediate flipping out on me, like, I get it.
But you were 15. Donald James Parker is like 80. He should know that that's not how it works by now.
Yeah, well, we can always hope.
I'm actually going to. Nope. I'm gonna pull the clip because. Okay. I will pull the clip from my video because I know I won't get copyright claimed on my video.
Yay.
Leprechaun 624.
Nope, that's the end of the video. Ah. Full screen, full screen. There we go. And now, turn that on.
Here, Donald James Parker.
Okay,
If that name means
to be so
nothing to
loud.
you, then congratulations, with a particular focus on Christian movies. And Donald James Parker, aka DJP, aka Gramps, is quite the prolific filmmaker. There's Gramps
I love the bar at the bottom that says I'm a manager. Okay, I'm going to press play on this. You guys watch it while I go let the dog in.
Goes to college.
Yay.
The story of how an old man went back to college and proved to the college biology professor that evolution is a lie. Also, she's a hot cougar who really wants to fuck him.
Have you ever considered that maybe there really is a heaven and a hell, and that people like you are condemning young people to eternal punishment because of
Hello.
their teaching?
Have you ever considered
Oh my
just
God.
grabbing me and having some fun? Well, you don't need to be afraid, honey. You can take advantage of me any way you want.
There's the
I'm
Best
just
Friends
sorry.
trilogy, which is the
She's-
story of
so
how...
she's technically a cougar, but she's not really a cougar. to
Okay,
him.
yeah, you know what? In my head, cougar is just sexy older lady. It did not occur to me to make the connection between sexy older lady who chases after younger men. Okay? I've been corrected on this so many times in the comments. You don't need to add on to the pile. Shut the fuck up.
hot cougars really want to fuck him.
You don't have a woman friend?
Not even close.
A good-looking guy like you shouldn't deprive all these lovely ladies of your company. You realize that females outnumber males by a pretty big margin at our age. It would be a crime for you to withhold love from one of us lonely women.
Well, I'd hate to really be involved in criminal activity, but aren't I just a little too old for you?
I like mature men.
So, just for the record, I actually did snip out a bunch of long pauses from his videos. So, like, as awkward as this is to watch, it's more awkward in the original.
And in that story, because he gave in exactly one time, he very nearly ruined his chances of marriage because of the AIDS.
A little over a year ago, I got tangled up with some woman who wasn't quite as wonderful as you. She seduced me and we became sexually active.
Did you have a test for sexually transmitted diseases? Especially AIDS?
No.
Especially
If you do have AIDS, this relationship can probably go no further.
especially.
Oh, wait, I think the clip from Unexpected Bar Mitzvah is at the end. Done.
Oh my god.
Scholars nearly unanimously agree that sure how a guy writing several shorts on friends be Jewish. Seriously, that's one he made.
That was the Jewish father's reaction to his son saying, "I'm Christian now."
Everything about what I just saw gave me an unreasonable amount of joy. What is wrong with me? Why?
So I don't know if you heard this part of it, but when I was watching through the Forrest Valkai video with my partner, at one point she just turned to me and was like, "If you stop the movie now, we can have sex." So I threw into the video that, like, you know what, Donald James Parker, you got to be careful. Your movies encourage fornication. I was able to resist her feminine wiles, but not all men are as strong as me.
Jesus Christ.
Okay. Spoonbill Adams said, "Did your glasses change color?" No, I have two pairs of glasses. These are the ones that I use for recording my videos, because they look kind of cool, but they're super stupid to wear. They give all sorts of ugly glares and stuff, and it's just not good. But people like them, so I wear them. And then Spoonbill Adams says, "I love the bow tie." Is this the TIE Fighter bow tie? Anyway, the law has some guardrails that protect against accommodation requests that are universally considered absurd. For example, a student won't be able to claim a moral objection to math in college algebra courses, or a student won't be able to claim a moral objection to math in a college algebra course. Cirrus.
Yeah, but
And-
I'm gonna be honest. this law makes no sense.
Yeah,
And
it's one of
here's
those.
the reason-
It's one of those things where the court's job becomes adjudicating how sincere you are about something, and that is not a job that the courts should have.
Also, the thing about it that confuses me most, right, at this particular bit, the court getting to decide what is patently absurd, but to me, it's patently absurd to hide behind a god so you don't have to read a book.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the person who gets to decide what's patently absurd there is very confusing in this scenario.
There's also the next bit. I understand why it's like this, but it confuses me at the same time, if that makes sense. It says, and the law requires faculty to make these accommodations only in courses that are part of a college's general education requirement or are required for the student's major.
Why is this even a thing in fucking college?
I don't know, but so I think the idea behind that is that they're only letting you get out of required assignments like this in courses that are required, so not your electives. So that basically it's a course that you are being forced to take, essentially, except you're not because you're the one that chose that major. So it's like, I understand kind of where they're coming from for that, but on the flip side, all the more important for you to do the actual coursework if it's core material.
If you're so stupid that you think you should be hiding behind a deity so you don't have to read a book, you really need you're the exact person who really needs to read a book.
Yeah. Even just the book that you claim to is the word of your deity, just read that one, because so many Christians don't.
Just
But yeah, proponents of this law say that students shouldn't be required to do assignments or take exams on topics that compromise their morals unless it's absolutely necessary to advance in their field of study. Counterpoint, if you have moral problems with a class that is required for your field of study, then you should choose a different field of study.
Then congratulations, you're fucking Georgia.
Who's Georgia? Is she hot? Do I want to be fucking her?
You know who she is. You know exactly who she is.
Yes.
So you know the answer to that, and I don't want you to answer that in front of me.
I think you know my answer. Moving on.
You defined a cougar weird. I don't want to know your answer.
I didn't define it weird. I just misunderstood what it even was. Okay, there's a difference. I know now.
Oh,
This is how I learn.
stop it, Ron.
Do you know how many things I have learned by like making a video, saying a thing, and then I'm getting a barrage of correction in the comments?
Oh, dude, same here.
And usually, like, if it's important stuff, I look it up. It's when it's the unimportant stuff. Like I once went on a tangent about like, I think it was the what do you meme guy. The Christian guy who started his YouTube channel off basically reviewing memes. I did a response to him.
Now he's a Christian apologist.
Yeah. So I did a response to him, and he said something about taking the L, and I'd never heard that expression before. And so I went on this big long tangent about like, what the fuck does that even mean? Nobody talks like that. What the fuck are you talking about? Made fun of him for, and then I got roasted in my comment section because I didn't know this thing that everybody knows. So yeah, fun times. This is how it's usually slang related that I learn things like this.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I took the L on that one.
Who says take the L? A lot of people on the internet, naturally.
Yeah, but that was the first time I ran into it.
Jeez. Well, now I know.
Okay, moving on. Jeff Bezos says bottom half of earners should pay 0 in income taxes. This was sent to me by Laura Schultz.
So Jeff Bezos thinks the bottom half of earners should pay 0 in income taxes. I disagree. The amount of money that we pay at the bottom half for taxes is minuscule, and it does nothing but help us because most of that money ends up going into your Social Security anyways, so you get it all back.
So here's the thing. Bezos is saying this just as democratic states are starting to look into higher taxes for the wealthy. So he's kind of doing that thing. It's like the meme of the three people at a table. One guy's got a massive pile of cookies. One guy's got one cookie, and one guy's got no cookies. And the guy with the massive pile is like leaning over at the guy with the one cookie, being like, "That guy over there wants to take your cookie."
Yeah, that's basically what it is. Because
that's what this is. He's trying to be like, "Well, that guy wants your cookie, so like I'm gonna let you keep your cookie, and you let me keep my big stack of cookies."
like this.
It's like that's all this is. He doesn't actually care about the lower half. He just wants to not pay taxes himself. So he's ingratiating himself to the populace, so that now all the future billionaires on the right,
dumb fucking libertarians.
yeah, they can look at this and be like, "See, the billionaires are good people. They don't want us to pay taxes. So maybe we shouldn't tax them," even though a 1% wealth tax on just Jeff Bezos would more than make up for not taxing the bottom half of earners.
Man, it's almost like what we learned in New York City, where if you just did a bit of a wealth tax on a whole bunch of the wealthiest people in the city, you suddenly have the ability to pay for damn near everything. That and requesting the state to actually give you back the money that your city had made.
Did you
That too.
Did you see that because Trump lives primarily in either the White House or Mar-a-Lago, his New York property is subject to Mamdani's pied-à-terre tax?
Ha! That's perfect.
So that's fun. Man, I love Mamdani. Did you see the executive order he issued? Where he's like,
No.
yeah, he
Oh wait, the bedtime one?
yeah, the Knicks are in the
Yeah.
playoffs, so I hereby rescind bedtime. And did you see someone on Twitter, like, I didn't pull this for Twit tweets tonight, but like someone on Twitter would like responded to him being like, "Oh, this is why you shouldn't have voted for him. He is now telling children to listen to him instead of their parents."
Oh my fucking
like,
god!
fuck
Can't
you,
you
he
see
did-
something wholesome
He
happening?
did a
and just
cute,
accept
wholesome
that?
thing. Did you read the executive order?
No, I saw the headline, but I didn't read it.
Oh, because the actual text of it is also adorable. Done. Yeah. Let's take you out of full screen so I can see what I'm doing again. Mamdani bedtime executive order text. I don't need the AI overview. Come
No,
on.
you need the
Load.
AI overview. You need to know.
No,
what
the AI overview is
thinks.
going to make up its own text.
Yup.
No, come on. That one's behind a paywall. Okay, here's the actual picture. No, don't take me to Twitter. I don't want to go to Twitter.
Hello.
I've been to Twitter already. Somebody super chatted. I'll get to you in a minute. Okay, it says, whereas the New York Knickerbockers have not reached the NBA Finals since 1999, and whereas it is important for all New Yorkers of all ages to support the Knicks in their championship run, and whereas bedtime should not impede the ability of New York's cutest to cheer for the Knicks and watch every second of this historic championship series, now therefore, pursuant to the powers vested in me as mayor of the city of New York and Knicks fan in chief, Section 1, I hereby direct that bedtimes of the city of New York are repealed during the NBA Finals so that kids of all ages can root for the New York Knicks. Section 2, go New York, go New York, go. Section 3, this order shall take effect immediately and shall not expire until the Knicks complete and hopefully win their historic championship run.
That's adorable.
Yeah, I particularly like the whereas bedtime should not impede the ability of New York's cutest to cheer for the Knicks. It's like, it's just wholesome stuff, and people get mad at it. Like, that's what I want politics to be again. We could use a Mamdani here in Canada, yes we could, absolutely. I do like my representative, Wayne Gates. He's pretty great. And he's just a nice guy. And like every time he's seen me, he's always made time to come and chat with me for a bit. And it's like, he doesn't know who I am. I'm nobody to him. But if I go say hi, he'll take some time to say hi, talk to me, talk to the kids. Tolerate them calling him the Lorax.
Do you speak for the trees?
Well, I'm sure I've shown a picture of him on stream before, but like that's a tiny picture. That's him. So he's got the big bushy mustache and his color is orange. So
He just looks like a neat guy.
he is. But yeah. Anyway, Bezos trying to butter everybody up in order to keep his 0% tax rate or whatever the fuck he pays now. Probably negative tax if we're honest.
Yeah. Man, I love billionaires. They're great. They're my favorite.
I like him with the balsamic glaze.
Web X Momdani Yowie went no. Please no. No, Axo. No, we don't there are some types of Yowie that we don't need, and that's the kind that gets the Yowie paddle.
I don't remember what yaoi is.
Yowie is it's just gay anime. If it's guys, it's
Okay.
Yowie. If it's girls, it's Erie.
Yuri Gagarin?
No.
Oh, gender swap astronaut porn. Sir's just ducked out.
Yep. No.
I'm done with this
good.
conversation. I will not encourage this.
Look, I don't need to think of porn while revisiting Project Hail Mary. Is all I'm saying.
Okay. I don't like that I don't like the author of Project Hail Mary anymore. He seemed like an okay guy, and then he went on the interview with friggin' Critical Drinker talking about how the reason he's so successful is because he doesn't do politics in his books. Which, if you're not familiar, Critical Drinker is a very much right-wing guy.
Shit.
He's a piece of shit. And, yeah, so to go on his show and say I don't do politics, it comes across very enlightened centrist. And it's like, my man, you wrote a book about how there was an existential environmental crisis that the world unified to combat. How is that not political? That is inherently political.
No, you see, it's not political because I did it.
Yeah, but and I'm sure the only reason Critical Drinker didn't complain about this is because he was willing to come on his show. But the leader of the world in that movie was a woman. In any other movie, Critical Drinker would have been like, "Oh, it's this woke bullshit that you're forcing this political stuff down our throats." But no, because he was willing to come on his show and be like, "I'm an enlightened centrist," it's not political.
She wasn't leader of the world. She was leader of the particular military org that was.
Whatever. She was like the most powerful person on the planet. You never saw
was
anyone
the most
more
powerful
powerful than her in the movie. The
that's
most
fair.
powerful person in the movie was a woman.
Man, remember when Critical Drinker said that Prey was going to be woke nonsense, and then he had to like sheepishly go, "It was actually really good."
He's done that with like, I don't know if it's him specifically, but it's a very common thing where they will overreact to a trailer, and then the movie comes out and they completely change their tune and they pretend like they never said the opposite thing in the first place. So like when the Mario movie came out, everybody was freaking out that Peach
had pants.
Her pants, which has been part of her costume for decades up until that point, but they never noticed before. But now because there's 2 seconds of her in pants, it's woke nonsense.
How dare you put Peach in pants? Never ever put Peach in pants.
Critical
I want
Drinker
Princess Peach's
voice.
pants off. Wait, what?
The message. I don't understand that.
Oh, yeah, nope, I know it. Okay, I can do it. The message!
Okay.
It's anytime he tries to say that something is trying to, like, communicate that being gay is okay, he always does this stupid fucking voice and goes, the message! And then a bunch of other right-wing YouTubers that have no ability to do media analysis all started copying, saying it the exact same fucking way, thinking that it sounded cool, and it just makes them all sound like stupid children.
So my shirt is part of the message?
Yes.
Well, good. Moving on. Cancel it, Trump says after artists drop out of U.S. Freedom 250 Festival.
Oh boy.
Have you been hearing about this?
Nope, I have not. Let's
Okay.
see it.
So, Trump announced that there was going to be a bunch of musical guests celebrating America's 250th birthday at several events. And after, like, there were 9 artists, and within like a day of them announcing the event, 7 of the 9 artists dropped out. We're like, nope, we're not doing that.
So now that they're dropping out because of him, he's like, nope, cancel the entire thing. I don't like any of them. No, fuck them.
7 of 9. 7 of 9. Star Wars reference? No, Star Trek reference. Fuck.
Puts on.
Forgive me, Janeway.
Puts on the fedora. Well, actually.
Fun fact. That was actually Star Trek. Oh, good lord.
You know what's funny? Just as an aside, so like Star Trek is much more obsessed with technobabble than Star Wars ever is, until you get into the books, because when you get people who have written Star Trek books writing Star Wars books, suddenly all of the technobabble is just ripping through it just as much. You're like, nope. It's just Star Trek without a holodeck and with lightsabers now. That's what this book is.
The Star Wars universe has literal magic. Yes, I know technically the Star Trek universe kind of does too, but
Yeah, it has Q.
Yeah, but they try to explain it quasi-naturalistically. Q may be omnipotent, but he's still a being within the universe, a naturally occurring being of the universe. Whereas, I mean, I guess they tried to do that in Star Wars with the midichlorians.
I like that the midichlorians got retconned in Plagueis. That makes me very happy. Because in Plagueis, the midichlorians were retconned to everybody can interface with the Force. Everybody has midichlorians. If you don't have them in your system, you will just die. Having a high count just means you have a good talent for the Force, but anybody can get to any point in power. It just might be harder for them to get there.
I don't know if this is someone saying this ironically or if somebody just crashed the stream to be like, Jesus loves you!
Yeah, okay, then I guess Jesus loves me. He also loves my big fat cock.
Jesus
Anyway.
loves me, this I know.
For the Bible tells me so.
No,
That's
the Bible
why
tells
I
me
can-
that Jesus said that you have to hate your whole family.
That's why I can be a hoe, for the Bible tells me so.
Oh. I remember... Oh, God, this is going to date me.
At
Mixing
least
franchises, Rhino? How could you? Technically, Q is no longer omnipotent and has a limited lifespan. Yeah, okay, I know.
Yeah, and he's also known as Discord, and he's a main character in My Little Pony. What of it?
Yeah. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. So that actually kind of reminded me of, like, back in the days of... Did you ever do IRC chat?
Yes, I did.
Okay. So back in the days of IRC chat, back when I was a good little Christian boy, I was in a Christian chat room, and we would regularly have Muslims come in and try and get us to repent of our polytheism, because there's only one God, and that God is Allah. And then we'd be like, no, there's only one God, and that God is God, Jesus, and the Holy Spirit. And be like, but that's 3, though.
Ace Bell in the voice of Alucard. Jesus wants a hug.
Yeah. Okay, so after 7 of 9 artists dropped out. Pause for Borg reference.
Pause for comedic effect.
I'm trying... Jerry Ryan, that's her name. I was trying to remember Jerry Ryan's name that whole time, believe it or not. She played 7 of 9 on Star Trek Voyager, just so you know.
Okay.
So after 7 of 9 dropped out, Trump posted on Truth Social saying, cancel it, they're all overpriced and boring. What's funny, though, like, you get to the actual names of the people. There's, like, Martina McBride, the Commodores, Young MC, Brett Michaels, Vanilla Ice, Milli Vanilli, and a couple other people that they don't mention in the article. I have heard of some of those, but I don't know that I could... Like, aside from Vanilla Ice, the song that he ripped off of... David Bowie and... Was it Zeppelin? Under Pressure?
Yes. The
Yeah.
do 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 do
Yeah.
do do.
Aside from that, I can't think of any of their songs. Like I'm sure I would recognize a couple of Milli Vanilli's songs, but I can't think of them. So
Yeah, I can't.
yeah,
Think
so
of
there,
them
it's
either.
it's like it's a bunch of like washed up artists in the first place. Do you have the For the
Scott
Bible
says
Tells Me So
Queen.
jingle? I don't have it queued up and ready to go, but I do have a copy of the file on a green background so that I can use it whenever I want because Paul gave it to everybody. Gay Unicorn Gary loves you. That he does. His holy
The chat is saying Queen over and over again.
Was it Queen? Okay, sure. Freddie Mercury, yeah. Gary loves you. You can buy his merch at merch.vicerhino.com. Yeah. So the Freedom 250 group is the group that is behind this, which is not to be confused with the America 250 group, which was formed a decade ago and was meant to be taking care of all this stuff and was bipartisan. So Freedom 250 was just formed by Trump, and he gets to appoint everybody, and he's making it all about him. But yeah, so a lot of these artists, they agreed to do the thing because they thought it was the America 250 thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then they found out it was Trump's partisan thing, and then they were like, "Oh no, we don't want to.
Yeah.
We don't want to touch
Never
that."
mind.
So yeah, and Trump just started this up last year. So the 250th thing has been planned by this committee for a decade now, and Trump just gets in and within a year he signs a thing. And he's like, "Yeah, no, we're going to do it all within a year." It's like this shit takes time if you want to do it right.
Yeah, he's not worried about doing it right. He's worried about being the guy who's suggested as the right guy for the job.
It's gonna take plenty of time to do it, to do it, to do it, to do it right, child. I know that was the wrong number of duets, but I feel like you guys don't actually want to hear me sing as much as I want to sing.
Look, all of the music that's been stuck in my head for the past few days is all fucking French. Do what you want.
Voulez-vous coucher avec moi ce soir?
Just Claire Obscure is such a good game. Anybody who tries to pull the stupid, if I don't understand the lyrics, I can't dance to it. Fuck you. That game soundtrack is a bop, and I don't know a single word they're saying.
There are people who say you can't dance if you don't understand the lyrics?
Don't you remember them all getting mad about Bad Bunny? That was
Were they
one
saying
of the
you couldn't
complaints.
dance to it?
Yes. One of the complaints was, how could I dance to this if I don't know the lyrics?
That it's still got rhythm.
It's still got music. I
And-
know.
and-
I am
and-
aware.
Music.
Yeah.
Can they not dance to classical music?
Apparently not.
Like ballroom dancing is impossible. There aren't even any lyrics.
Axel says he's been infected with the French quarantine in Quebec.
I'm Canadian. I know some French. Où est la bibliothèque?
Then go play Claire Obscure and you can listen to the weird moon speak they're doing over there.
Weird moon speak. Hey, we speak English. It's like French is one of its ancestors.
Yeah, and every word they say sounds like, oh no, I'm gonna surrender.
Like restaurant. You can't go to the restaurant if it wasn't for French.
I mean, you're right. My fries are there.
Your freedom fries.
Yeah, guys, I can't dance to Daro Day Sandstorm. It has no lyrics.
Oh, is that how you say that? I've always pronounced it Darude.
Darude? Nah,
It's
that would
Darude?
that'd be very rude of you.
Okay, well, okay.
You would be Darude for saying it that way.
Yes, I would, and that's what I thought it was. So it's Darude. See, it's got lyrics. Its lyrics are just ba-da-ba-da-ba.
Mr. Pillow, the cheese-eating surrender monkeys. Yes, the French.
Oh, good lord.
Oh god, the ending of that game makes so much more sense now. Spoilers.
Also, just so we highlight this, I didn't know this, but Vanilla Ice's real name is apparently Robert Matthew Van Winkle.
I can understand why he took the other name.
Yeah,
That name sounds wider than his moniker.
Bobby Van Winkle. Bobby Matt Van Winkle. But so Trump said in a Truth Social post that the artists are getting the yips, and then he's like, oh well, nobody wants to hear them anyway, so I'm gonna perform instead of them. And when I first read that, my thought was like he's actually going to try and sing, which like I might actually watch that, but like no, what he meant is he's going to turn it into a rally instead of a musical performance. So all the people that bought tickets thinking they were going to be hearing music are instead just going to hear Trump get up there and complain about sinking boats with their batteries, electrocuting him into the sharks.
Why? I don't like this timeline, Rhino. Could we don't?
Well, I mean, it's not all bad. So, for instance, a Kansas judge just blocked a law that banned gender-affirming care for minors.
Well, you know what? Let's talk about Kansas. They sound less depressing.
And so that's not.
I don't think I've ever said
that is not a thing
before.
that I ever expected to hear.
I wish to not be in Kansas anymore. Let's continue.
So yeah, the really good news here though is the reason this law got blocked is because the judge deemed that it was okay. So Kansas has a law banning gender affirming care for minors, and these people sued to get the law overturned because they've got kids that need gender affirming care, and it's like they just passed a law saying no more medical care for your kid. That's stupid. We need to get medical care for our kids. And so the reason that law could pass in the first place was because the Supreme Court of the United States said that, yes, you can pass laws banning gender affirming care. So that's how that law got passed. But these people are suing based on the fact that it's unconstitutional by the state constitution, which means the Supreme Court of the United States can't touch it. So whatever the result of this is, that's it. It doesn't go to the Supreme Court. We can't, like, this is no longer this is just the case until John Roberts sees it. No, John Roberts will never see this one. Yay. Now, as to the Kansas Supreme Court where this is going to go, I don't actually know what they look like right now, so maybe my hope is misplaced. But it'd be hard for them to be more corrupt than John Roberts. Oh, this was sent to me by Laura as well. But yeah, so there are teens getting gender affirming care. The judge sided with the teens' parents who sued to halt the law, saying that they had the right to make decisions regarding the health of their children, according to court documents and a statement from the ACLU. Which, yeah, this is actually one of the big things that conservatives have been pushing for like the last decade, has been the idea of parental choice. You can't have gay stuff in school because that goes against my parental choice to teach them about it or not, depending on how I choose. And so they have been working so hard to get all this parental choice stuff legally enshrined. And so now these guys are taking them to court being like, hey, it is my choice as the parent to let my child get medical care.
But no choice. No, that's not the choice I wanted to make, and I'm a parent too, and my choice matters more than yours for reasons.
Well, so apparently it's Section 1 of the Kansas Constitution, Bill of Rights, is the right to personal autonomy. And the judge that overturned this says that there's a substantial likelihood that the lawsuit will succeed because of that section of the Kansas state constitution. It's like they're saying you not allowing me to get medical care is infringing on my right to personal autonomy that is enshrined in the Constitution. And you know what? They're right. So yeah, good news out of Kansas. Hopefully it stays that way.
At least it's something.
And like, it's got more of a chance of staying that way than it did if it was going to the federal Supreme Court.
The federal Supreme Court is, man, I can't say the words that just popped into my brain because I feel like I'd get worse than banned if I said them. So I'm just not going to.
Apparently the Kansas Supreme Court is 5 Democrats, 1 Republican, and 1 vacant. So
neat.
Yeah.
I'd like to go to Kansas now.
I still would like to stay in Canada.
I mean, to be fair, Kansas is very close to Canada in terms of the naming scheme. Canada, Kansas.
Arkansas.
America, explain. If this one Kansas, why this one not Arkansas? It's Arkansas. America, explain.
I'm sure I've told you this before, but I think I was in my 20s when I learned that Arkansas and Arkansas were the same state. Because, like, I'd always read one and heard the other, so I assumed that they were different things, because the S doesn't make that sound.
Yeah, but you don't understand. It's our Kansas, comrade.
But then you go up north in Michigan, you cross the Mackinac Bridge, which is actually pronounced Mackinac, because somehow the C makes a W sound there. But, yeah. And those ones you can't even blame English for, because I'm pretty sure both Kansas and Mackinac are Native American words. So you can't blame English, but you can blame the people who decided to transliterate it into English.
I mean, I can. It just won't be a valid attempt at blaming. Like, I can blame Donald Trump for the South losing the Civil War, but it's not a valid claim of blame.
Well, I'm still not sure if in Buffalo there is like a little suburb of Buffalo called Chautauqua, and then there's an expressway that I would take to go to the Buffalo Zoo that is spelled Skajakuda. And I am still not sure whether that is just how you spell Chautauqua. Because I've heard Chautauqua on the radio. There's a car dealership that advertises all the time from Chautauqua. But I've never actually seen it spelled. So the Skajakuda Expressway might just be Chautauqua. I don't know. And then, of course, we've got the Buffalo sentence, which that's incorrect. They shouldn't all be capital. Only one of them should be capital. I think it's the fourth one, but I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. Well, also the first one, because, the beginning of the sentence and all that. Anyway, the next two news items are kind of one news item. So we'll just, Piper, when you're editing this, the next two can go together.
All right.
So
Let's
first,
see what we got then.
We have what is one of my favorite sentences I've read in the news all year. We have all 173 of the rear-wheel drive Cybertrucks sold by Tesla are being recalled.
Huh.
So, like, it's so snarky without actually being snarky. Because, like, they only sold, like, this was their cheaper model that was supposed to reach the masses, and they sold 173 of them. And it's now discontinued. And, yeah, they're being recalled because their wheels might just fall off.
I mean, to be fair, your wheels having a chance of falling off just means you're a Cybertruck in general.
Yeah.
Oh, man, what was that thing that happened last year? The part of the Cybertruck's frame would, like, come loose, and it would cause it to be stuck in acceleration mode for a while, and then that, was lethal?
I think you're conflating two different recalls, because there was the accelerator thing was there's a cover on the pedal that could slip off, and if it slipped off in the wrong spot, it would get stuck under the wheel well, and you would just it'd be flooring it, which would be that would be overridden by hitting the brakes, but you still don't want your gas pedal being stuck in the flooring it position. And then there was the trim, which it was the bits that went up the side, the bits up by the windows that would just fly off on the highway.
Yeah, what trim?
They've also been recalled for their inverter, the reverse cameras, and even the font size on the screens. And this recall is the 11th Cybertruck recall. And how long has it been on the road for? 2 years now?
2 years, something like that.
11 recalls in 2 years.
I keep finding more Cybertrucks in my area, and I don't know if it's just like the same 3 that happen to live around me.
I saw a Cybertruck in in Hamilton the other day, and it was like they actually paid for vanity plates that said Cybertruck on them. And I'm just like, oh my God, that's like when your truck gets bricked and you don't have the money for new vanity plates and you just keep the. So I have seen this all the time. When I used to work in a hotel, and my job was to record all the license plate numbers of all the cars that were parking there. So like I've seen it a lot where you have like Todd's Beamer is the vanity license plate on this Toyota Corolla. And I'm sure some of them are doing it ironically, but there are a lot that it's like, I got this for my BMW, then I crashed my BMW or it got totaled somehow, or like I no longer have it and I didn't have the money for another BMW. So I got a Toyota, and it's cheaper to keep your plates than to get new ones.
Mm.
So they put their plates that are specific to a different car on the new car. And so I kind of hope, I really hope that happens for that person. And I hope that they saw me laughing at them. Because I did. When I saw that, I was howling. But yeah, so in this case, faulty brake rotors could cause the wheels to fall off. They could, like, as it's like turning in normal corners, it's putting extra stress on them and causing them to crack. And they could potentially just break away from the vehicle.
Fantastic.
Spoonbill Adams says, I've seen a Cybertruck at my work a few times. That thing is so ugly, and I wondered how the guy afforded that monstrosity.
I just don't understand why you would want your Nintendo 64 to not render the whole vehicle. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, I do like the N64 aesthetic, but I also recognize that that's purely a nostalgia thing. If I had not grown up with it, I would not like it. But yeah,
that's fair.
Like there have been times when they've like retextured some old games or whatever, and it's like, it's not the same. But yeah, so all 173 of the cheap Cybertrucks that they've sold could potentially have their wheels just fall off. That's
fantastic. And how does this have to do with the next one?
Well, it's not really related, but it's still Cybertruck related. And this is an older one, but when I saw it, I knew we had to talk about it. So I've been sitting on this for 3 weeks now. So, well, let's watch the video. I have it muted. We don't need to hear what she's talking about.
Okay.
But yeah, so this guy just drove his Cybertruck into the lake so he could test Wade mode. And then he had to be rescued.
Why
and then he got arrested for reckless endangerment or whatever the fuck.
Why would you? Whose idea is the Wade mode anyway? I mean, probably
take a guess. Yeah. So his truck got disabled. That's not covered by the warranty. But yeah, Musk did once tweet out that you'll be able to take the Cybertruck across like rivers. Yeah, there we go. Cybertruck will be waterproof enough to serve briefly as a boat, so it can cross rivers, lakes, and even seas that aren't too choppy.
Even seas that aren't too choppy?
Yeah. And that was posted in 2022. So that was like just before the Cybertruck actually launched. So you'd think that this is about the product they were actually launching, not maybe someday down the road in the future we'll think to do that. So I feel like this guy's got a pretty good case if he decides to sue.
But why would you ever want to sue Daddy Elon after you bought his baby truck?
Because the warranty doesn't cover what he did to the truck, despite Daddy Elon saying that you can do that with the truck.
No, Elon would never. Elon would never.
Axo says
He's my
CD's
friend.
nuts. But yeah, so I just that's just a very cathartic image to see Cybertruck stuck in the water because the guy who owns it was too stupid to know not to drive his truck into the water.
No, Elon told me I should. He's my friend.
Mm-hmm.
When I have Grok, Valentine tells me that Mr. Elon loves me and wants to give me a handy.
Yeah, I don't trust my car for shit.
I don't trust when my car keeps trying to tell me that it needs to charge and it keeps trying to go to a fucking Tesla station instead of, any of the other myriad chargers that are open and just as good.
Better, usually. I don't know what battery pack your car has, but so mine is a 700-volt battery pack, which at the charger it's effectively 800 volts. Don't worry about it, electronics nerds. So yeah, it's got 800-volt battery pack in it, which is how you can get from like 10% to 80% in 15 minutes. But if you go to a Tesla charger, none of them are like, there are like 4 in all of North America that are capable of delivering that. The rest of them are stuck at 400 volts.
But if we put the big numbers on the thing, then everybody will think good. Because that's how big numbers work, even if you don't have access to anything from the big numbers.
Yeah, well,
yes,
I do have
I
access
hear
to things
you.
from the big numbers if I don't go to a Tesla charger, so I don't go to Tesla chargers. I'm sure eventually I'll have to buy the adapter because the Tesla plug has been adopted as the universal now. So eventually it's going to be harder to find the whatever the fuck my current thing is called.
Oh, the one where it's a circle and then it's got the 2 small circles on the bottom afterward. Yeah, that's the same one mine has.
CCS, I think it is.
So the Tesla one is now just what we're going to eventually have.
The Tesla one is what new cars are going to have on them now because they've opened it up. And it, like, some people are tempted to be like, oh, they went with the Tesla one. Ooh, that's bad. Like, no, it's good. It's just a fucking
which one we got.
It's just wires connecting to other wires. Like the chargers are like, watch some technology connections. The chargers are literally just extension cords with a relay in them that the car tells the relay to turn on now. That's all it is. So it doesn't actually matter. That's why you can get an adapter and it'll work. But anyway, that is the news. Shall we do with the tweetiths?
I don't want to do the tweets because I feel like most of the people that you cover are diseased, but I am willing to talk about them.
Let us do with the tweetiths.
Oh, god damn it.
Against atheism tweets, if you believe good and evil exist, you cannot be an atheist.
The claim about good and... Okay, so no, this doesn't work because you didn't define what good and evil are, because my definition of good and evil are measurement devices about harm after the fact.
Good and evil are not nouns, so they don't exist in the noun sense of this is a thing that exists. They are
adjectives.
They are adjectives. They describe things. So like this, you may as well say you cannot, like, if you believe that purple and blue exist, you cannot be an atheist. Like, no, well, purple is just...
Purple and blue don't exist. They are concepts we use to describe spectrum phenomena. It doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, correct.
None of these people none of these people should breathe. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't want to live in a world where I am having to share oxygen with these people.
Speaking of sharing oxygen, I recently reread the Foundation trilogy by Asimov, and I am distressed at how much I relate to, and I remember relating to this as a kid. There's one world he goes to where on the entire planet they've got a population of 20,000 people, and they maintain it at that, and everybody gets a massive sprawling estate all to themselves with a mansion fully staffed by robots, and they never actually go see each other in person, except when they're married. They have like an appointed time to have sex, but other than that they stay apart from each other, and they like will only ever like call each other holographically or whatever. And I related to those people so hard.
That just sounds like Discord buddies now.
Yeah. And there's one scene where like, so the guy from Earth is going there. He's like, no, I'm not doing holograph calls. I need to go places and actually see people in person. And one of the people that he was talking to, at one point, the guy just runs out of the room and then does a holographic call to him from the other room. He's like, yeah, sorry about that. I just realized that we were breathing the same air. And same thing is like, yeah, no, like one of my fucking kids this morning was sitting on the couch beside me, imitating the dog, going, and I'm sitting there like, stop it. When you do that, I know it's just in my head, but I can like feel the molecules from your mouth going up my nose, and I don't like it. Stop. So yeah,
In a world where everyone is autistic.
So yeah, I relate to the people that he was portraying. Like, his portrayal was supposed to, like, it's not all positive, but it was not all negative either. Mm-hmm. But you're still not really supposed to relate to them, and I did. They were also very eugenic. I didn't relate to that part.
You don't relate to eugenics? Why?
I do not, because that's not what survival of the fittest means.
Oh, yeah, you're right. That's a good reason. That's a good reason not to relate to eugenics. I just found out today that the eugenics movement is why we have closed borders.
I saw that part of your stream.
It
was very frustrating not to be able to chat on your stream, because there were many things that I wanted to chime in on.
I mean, you could always just like DM me those whenever that happens. If you ever get banned
Could,
again.
but then your audience can't see the DMs, and you can just decide not to read it. And you're like, nah, I need the people to adore me.
You're right. You're right. We do have a little bit of narcissism as YouTubers. We have to.
My thing is bodily fluids. Okay, well, you be into what you're into, but I don't really like bodily fluids. No kink shaming here.
I will kink shame. I will kink shame and kink ask why.
I'm pretty sure they were saying they're not into bodily fluids.
Oh.
At least I assume that. If you are into bodily fluids, I will still not kink shame you, but that is gross.
See, I'm not into bodily fluids, but I know that bodily fluids are in me, and that's as far as I'm willing to go. I
mean, I'm not into bodily fluids, but I would like to release some.
Also, can I just say this has nothing to do with anything related to what we're doing right now, but the conversation about the Cybertruck reminded me. So I just paid my vehicle registration today, because I had to do that once a year, and I didn't realize that Georgia has an exorbitant fee that is tacked onto vehicle registration called an alternate fuel fee.
Because you have an EV?
Yep.
They're charging you. They're charging you a tax for doing things that are good for the environment and good for the economy.
Yes.
Oh
we get punished for having EVs in Georgia. I just learned
so
this.
Fucking dumb.
Because I am used to vehicle registration being a $20 get in, get out of the courthouse deal. So when I got a bill of $250, I was very confused. Because I've never had that happen.
Do you remember when Jimmy Carter was like, hey, let's go all in on solar so that we can have energy independence and not worry about our oil coming through the Strait of Hormuz, which is in a very unstable region? You remember that?
Do you remember when Jimmy Carter actually ended his presidency and then went out into the world and started building homes for humanity? I do. It's almost like he wasn't a piece of shit.
I mean, to be fair, one of his plans for energy independence in the States was to deregulate the price of gasoline, which caused it to jump up. Which, that was part of why Reagan was able to sweep the floor with him.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, no, he was not a piece of shit.
Nope.
The way VR feels about breathing air with people is how I feel about bodily fluids. Well, that's your problem right there. You're not supposed to breathe them. You're supposed to swallow them.
There's your real problem. You're not supposed to feel bodily
If you try to
fluids.
breathe the cum, you're just going to choke.
If you can feel the bodily fluids in your body, you're usually supposed to call a doctor. Like, you don't have nerve endings in your veins. You shouldn't feel you shouldn't feel that.
I called the doctor, but the doctor just said no more monkeys jumping on the bed.
I mean, I called the doctor and told him I was in love with you. Different kind of doctor, though.
Rhino into Vor? No, absolutely not. Although Blue Sky seems to think so. I've been getting a lot of posts that are Vor adjacent Thankfully I haven't gotten any of the more graphic stuff because I am not into vor. But I'm just like occasionally like I'll be reading something and be like, what the fuck are they talking about? Oh, that's vor stuff.
It's vor posting.
Oh,
It's always vor posting.
I don't get vor. Again, not kink shaming, just kink asking why.
Every person who's into vor, I'm gonna go ahead and say right now, the part of the fantasy where you have to get out of the body is the one I understand the least.
I can't even process this.
That's what happens to them in the body. Yes, that's what digestion is.
No. Moving on. Next tweet. Ark Encounter says, while many cultures have flood legends, Noah's Ark stands as the original historical account, while stories like the Epic of Gilgamesh are merely later distortions.
Let me see here.
Just look up a dating on that real quick.
Yeah, that's actually what I was doing. So we have, let's see here, dates back about 2100 BCE. And when was Noah's flood penned? Noah's flood was penned about the 5th century BCE. So about 1500 years after the Epic of Gilgamesh. That's so weird.
I thought Genesis was older than that.
I'm just looking at the AI overview. I promise you it's probably fucked.
Well, usually it's okay for stuff like that. But I still wouldn't, I wouldn't trust it for an actual video.
Answers in Genesis says that the flood was 4,359 years ago.
Yeah, which is about 2300 BC, 2400 BC. So
yeah, but no, Wikipedia says it was composed in the 5th century BCE.
Well, Answers in Genesis also says that the Egyptian flood myth partially fulfills the idea, like they have this whole checklist of like aspects of the biblical flood that can be found in other flood myths around the world. And one of them is the flood was water. And all of them check that box because that's what the word flood means. So all of them check that box.
Going to be cum?
No, except for the Egyptian one. They say the Egyptian one partially fulfills the flood was water one because the Egyptian flood was blood. Which I guess technically there is water in blood, so that is partially water. But saying that's a partial fulfillment of the idea that the flood was water is a huge stretch.
I am partially filled with blood, but that's not what we're talking about.
Like, that's the thing. The Egyptian flood myth is basically Ra told his daughter that, like, hey, these people suck. Go kill, 100 of them. And Ra's daughter got so carried away killing them that she just kept on going until their blood flooded the land. And then I forget which other god stopped her, but I don't know. I forget. It's been a long time since I've gone over the Egyptian one, but it's funny just how much they try to claim is similar to the Christian flood myth when it's not even close. So Jassa, the real one, says, isn't the Nile Ra's cum or one of the Egyptian gods? Possibly. I do know that one of the Mesopotamian creation myths has their creation deity, who I forget which one it is. He actually fucks the planet, and his cum becomes the Tigris and Euphrates River.
Cum!
So he comes the rivers into existence. So
God, I love
creation myths are fun.
All of this. It's great.
Yeah, what was that about nobody liking bodily fluids? The rest of the stream is just cum and blood.
Cum. It's just cum in the river. The river's all cum.
Yeah. Zach Asmongold says, men are naturally more attractive than women on average.
Oh, is this the one where him and Andrew Tate are being fucking brosibs with one another?
Yes, but I didn't get the Andrew Tate ones.
I have the Andrew Tate one.
He says, that's why women need makeup. This isn't me being gay. It's science. I'm sorry, dude. If you're more attracted to men than women, then you are bisexual at least. Because that's just what that word means. It's like, as someone who will happily fuck a dude, I find women more attractive. Also, I wouldn't fuck this dude.
I mean, he's kind of gross.
Kind of. But then he
I
says,
mean, the rat alarm clock was part of it.
but then he brings up the peacock or cardinal or male versus female, male versus female, females get mogged. So my oldest child did not know what the word mog meant. I started talking in like,
That's because they were raised right.
well, they started talking in child slang trying to like rile me up or whatever, and I just responded by talking in the most recent slang that I know, which is all the fucking what's it called, the looks maxing stuff, like the this maxing
the
and mogging and
bullshit.
yeah, all that bullshit. So I started talking to that, and they were just like, "What did you just say?" I was like, "I totally just slang mogged you now." And they had no idea what I meant. And I was very happy about that. It's like, you know what? I'm okay with you not understanding the looks maxing slang. I wish I didn't.
Yeah.
And then Greek statues dedicated to the peak aesthetic form, overwhelmingly men. Yeah, ancient Greece, a culture known for definitely not being super gay.
Yeah, they weren't gay at all. What are you talking about? No, they're manly men. They're the manliest men.
Oh, look up the Sacred Band of Thebes sometime.
They're so manly.
Yeah,
God,
it was a manly military unit where they would actually pair them up as, like, your commanding officer would assign you a lover. And it was your duty to fuck your lover. Yeah, duty.
You said duty in regards to butt sex.
Yes, I did. Yeah.
God, we're going to hell.
There is no hell, thankfully.
Yep.
But so I didn't pull his interaction with what's his face, but I did pull Nick Fuentes' reply to this. I agree.
Of course he agrees. The only people he's fucked are cat boys.
We know you're gay, Nick. We know. And you know what? If you just gave up the white supremacist bullshit and came out as gay, well, we'd probably still hate your guts because of all the damage you've done up until this point, but that would at least set you on the path to recovery.
Yeah, no.
And some idiot came up with ball maxing. Yeah, we talked about that last time we streamed. Do you remember, Saris?
Ball maxing?
Ball maxing.
I don't remember ball maxing at
It's
all.
the guys who inject their balls with saline solution to make them really big.
Get out.
We had a long conversation about that last time we streamed. Did you just block it from your memory?
I think I did. I'd like to go back to blocking it from my memory, actually.
Let me just say that one of them said they were the size of cantaloupes. Moving on. Bo Loudon says, 79 is the new 39. President Trump is aging in reverse.
What?
Okay. I am 39. If you're going to say that I look that old, I may as well just end it now. I have this noose behind me. I'll just fucking tie it up and end it now.
So I love that because the Zoom AI bullshit is just warping this beyond all recognition. Do you know what this looks like with the AI filter on?
No, I don't. Please do send me a screenshot.
That's what I'm about to do. I am sending it to you directly because all I'm saying is this image is meme worthy.
Oh, it's so tiny. Come on, zoom in. Okay. Now I minimize that and bring it up there and maximize it,
God,
and then I
like
press
when it's
this
AI
button.
twice.
Blah. Oh, God.
He looks so derpy.
He does. He looks like he's got Quasimodo teeth, like from the Disney Hunchback, where he's just got like the two teeth off to the side and sticking out. Yeah.
Hey, we need to take that picture and just put aging in reverse.
Yeah. So he's aging in reverse. He looks so rough. So rough. I really hope whatever he's got gets him soon. Oh, so did you know that I actually support Trump being on the $250 bill now?
Oh?
Because I found out that there is a law in the United States that only deceased people can be on bills. So I fully support Trump's bid to be on the $250 bill.
Okay, yeah, no, we're on the same page.
The Institute for Creation Research says if the universe were billions of years old, all short-lived blue stars would have burned out long ago. So this is like...
I wonder if they realize that many of the stars in our sky that we actively enjoy looking at today are already burned out.
And also that stars are still forming.
Yep.
So like in my mind, this is like the sink is clogged, the tap is on, and it's overflowing onto the floor, and they're like patting paper towel down on the floor, being like, "Where's all this? Like, why is there still water? I paper toweled it." It's like it's because the tap's still on. You gotta stand up and turn off the tap first. Like that's what I picture when I see posts like this.
If there's idiots in the world, why is evolution real?
Because unfortunately, well, we've all seen the opening to Idiocracy here. It's not about how intelligent you are, it's about how much you fuck and how careful you're not.
Welcome to Costco. I love you.
Yeah.
Welcome to Costco. I love you.
My partner has actually not seen Idiocracy. I'm going to change that for her, and it's either going to be amusing or depressing.
I think that Idiocracy is a very depressing film, even though I haven't seen all of it, but I've seen lot of it. Bra knows what plants crave.
It's one of those movies that, like, there's a lot that doesn't hold up. It didn't age well.
Oh my god. Media literacy is dead.
but there is a lot that aged way too well. Like fucking President Camacho. Moving on. James Fishback says, if you're CEO of an abortion pill company and you pharmaceutical company, call it what it is, and you send an abortion pill into the state of Florida to murder a child, we will sign a warrant for your arrest. We will have you extradited to Florida and we will have you arraigned and charged for first-degree murder.
What?
So, here's the thing. This is dumb. This is very obviously dumb.
Mm-hmm.
But I do support the idea of holding CEOs personally accountable for the criminal activities of their companies. So, like, Grok, XAI, whatever the fuck company, they are running a data center in, I think it's actually in Georgia, where it's being powered with methane generators, which are extremely dangerous to the local community. That kind of generator is only legally allowed to be on a temporary basis during construction, but they've been just running the data center off of it for over a year now, and they've been legally told to stop by courts, and they have not stopped. So I fully endorse taking this sort of view to that and locking Elon Musk up for the crime of running those generators and polluting a community of mostly black people, because who else would Elon be dumping his smog into? So,
yeah.
So this is one of those things I have kind of mixed feelings because, like, yeah, no, abortion pills should not be illegal. But holding CEOs of massive corporations accountable for their actions, I'm on board with that.
You're okay with the principle behind it, but not how he wants to utilize it.
Yeah, I'm okay with the principle behind it when it's an actual crime.
Yeah.
When it's just healthcare, it's just healthcare.
I don't know if I'd use the word crime, only because, like, the president and Congress right now get to determine what is a crime. Harmful act, maybe?
Even that, you can wiggle the definition to be what you want.
Fair.
I don't know.
Fair.
I like the principle. I don't like this application. Joseph Spurgeon says, Christian, here's what God's word says about homosexuality. Atheist, I'm gay and I hate God. I hate Christians. I hate the Bible, but I read some website, so let me tell you what the Bible really means that you Christians have got wrong for 2,000 years.
Oh, wow. You guys have caught on to the fact that atheists have been putting together websites debunking your bullshit for years? You've caught on to the fact that we actually did research and then compiled that research into an easy area for all of us to use later on so that we didn't have to go through the exact same discovery process every fucking time we wanted to debunk one of you? Wow, you figured that out? That's so cool.
Indeed. Yeah. But also, like, I don't hate God. I just don't think he exists. I don't hate Christians. We had an extended conversation about my mother earlier and how great she is. I don't hate the Bible. I hate the way the Bible is used. I think it is a fascinating anthropological book. But, like, the way the fundamentalists use it, it's like the original authors would be spinning in their graves. Like, especially the Old Testament authors. It's like, you know that old joke about how you get 10 Jews in a room, you get 11 opinions.
I don't think that I've heard that one. But
you haven't?
I have now.
Well, it's somewhat based in reality, because like that was an active part of Judaism for millennia now. They like part of the tradition is, if you cannot find a new interpretation of a text, then that text is dead. So in order to like to say that like these words that the author wrote are literally what it means and nothing else, they'd be like, okay, well then you just killed the text. You're supposed to be able to find new meanings. You're supposed to be able to find meanings that I, who wrote it, couldn't think of. That's the point, is to find new interpretations. There's new wisdom to be found in these words.
You know what's
but as soon
so
as you say
weird?
it has to mean this exactly, it's dead. You've killed it.
You know what's so weird? Living in a world where Republicans get really mad about schools telling people what to think and not how to think, but that's what their pastors do the entire time when they say this is what the Bible says and there's no room for interpretation.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
There's a reason the ancient editors who put the book of Genesis together did not see a problem with putting the two creation myths of Genesis 1 and Genesis 2 right next to each other. Because they didn't think that this is what literally happened. They thought, these are our creation myths. We can learn from these stories. There is wisdom to be found in these texts. So we will record both of them so that future generations can not lose that wisdom. And then future generations were like, it says day. Day is 24 hours, so it must be day. 1 day, 24 hours. Like, no, absolutely not.
I love reality and people and everyone on Earth.
So I would argue that I actually love the Bible more than a lot of Christians do.
Because you actually are willing to mess around with it closer to how the original authors would have intended.
And I can actually like read it and appreciate it for the cultural work that it is. Because like if you read it from a literalist perspective, it's a terrible book. It's got bad morals, it's got bad stories, it's got boring stories. It's like long lists of stuff that we don't need to know.
My favorite book is the Bible, actually, and I think my favorite chapter, verse, all of it's
There's
pretty great.
9 consecutive chapters in Chronicles that are just so-and-so begat so-and-so, who begat so-and-so, who begat so-and-so, who begat so-and-so, who begat... 9 chapters of that. That is not great literature. But historians can use that to, like, figure out stuff that, like, figure out the dates of things and when things were happening. Like, it's such a fascinating book from an anthropological, from a historical perspective. But to say that it, like, no, you read the words literally and you do what it says. No, that you've just killed it. It's a dead book now. You suck.
What we got next from Mark Cuban?
Mark Cuban. So he's retweeting Chistery, who says, I like that the distribution of 5 opening stores throughout the borough seems to be inappropriate. Okay, so this is regards to Mamdani opening city-run grocery stores with lower prices. And so this person's saying, what's good about that? And Mark Cuban says, this will make some folks mad, but the best way for these grocery stores to work is if they use AI to get an edge over private grocery stores. AI is the one way for state government to outperform private enterprises.
State government already outperforms private enterprises in a lot of areas, especially efficiency. Hank Green actually did a video recently about I don't remember the author's name, but he wrote, I think, The Big Short. And he wrote, that same author wrote.
Now I'm just picturing Margot Robbie in the bathtub.
that author wrote a book recently about all of the invisible jobs in the government and just how good government employees actually are at their job, how efficient at their job they are, and how they're able to get so much more done with so much, like, so little money being invested in them compared to what happens at a private firm.
Well, even
And how
aside
good
from
that
that,
is.
aside from that, just looking at it from like AI is the one way for state government to outperform private enterprise. Okay, well, first off, one of the key aspects of having state-run grocery stores is that they don't have a profit motive. They are not trying to outperform private enterprises. They are trying to be an option for people who can't afford the more expensive groceries at the private enterprises. To that end, they will have lower prices because they're not concerned about profit motive, which, if you've taken a basic economics course, you know that lower price increases demand, which means that because they're not motivated by profit, more people will shop there because it is cheaper, and that will likely result in them outperforming private enterprises. Even though they're not actually trying to outperform them, they're just providing an option for people who can't afford other options.
Speaking of that, I have a friend who's not into politics and has a lot of, like, very libertarian leanings, and we had a conversation recently about what happened with Spirit Airlines. He knew that Spirit didn't exist, but he didn't know, like, the mechanics behind why. He didn't know about the $500 million grant that they were trying to get from the Trump administration. They didn't know about Boeing dropping them as a subsidiary earlier, while gutting them during their time being under Boeing. Didn't know any of the history behind it. And as we were talking, he said, well, with them gone, wouldn't prices just go down? Because now
Why?
people have to fill in that void? No. No, the prices go down when a competitor forces them down. If there's no market incentive for the prices to go down, they only go up. That's not how this works.
Yeah.
I literally was sitting there trying desperately to process, how can you possibly think about it this way? How does the concept of the competitor that drove the prices down is no longer here translate to the prices should get even lower? How does that make any fucking sense?
Yeah. But also, like, this also hits an issue that a lot of people have with the government, is that, like, again, it's related to the fact that they're not trying to earn a profit. So, like, you'll see people all the time complain about how, like, oh, the U.S. Postal Service is so inefficient, they've never even turned a profit. It's like, no,
They're not supposed
that's
to.
because they're not supposed to. They're government funded so that people who can't afford UPS can still send packages to people.
Yeah, they're meant
Like-
to exist here as a way for me to get my mail to you, not
Like,
as
it's-
a way to make money doing
It's
that.
taxpayer funded because it is a service that the taxpayers need. So, like, the taxes pay for it so that you don't have to at the cash register. So it's not about turning a profit. I like, so many people think that, like, the government is not supposed to turn a profit. The government is not a business. That's why you don't need a business person to run the government, because when you do that, you end up with what Trump is doing now. He's gutting everything and being corrupt.
No, you specifically don't want a business person running it because they're going to do the Doge thing where they try to trim the fat. And, well, actually, no. Here, the easiest example. What is the number one hemorrhager of profit?
In a business,
Yes.
wages.
Okay, cool. So, it is always incentivized to run as lean as possible with a skeleton crew in almost any business so that you can skim more money off the top. The government works the opposite way. You need more people working in the government for it to function at all. For every military veteran you have, you need to have, like, at least a fifth of a person able to handle their request at the VA. For every 1,000 citizens you have, you need a fucking person employed at the DMV so that they're able to function. Like there for every single part of industry, there is a ratio of how many government employees are needed to adequately serve the populace. That is not a ratio that has to be considered as much in business, because in business, all that matters is, did it technically get done? Whereas in the government, all of our money is going to it. So the quality that it gets done at is even more important.
This will probably mean nothing to you, but we've got Dan Wins is dunking on Mike Harris in the chat, and I am here for it. Fuck Mike Harris.
American law enforcement officer, businessman, and politician serving as a member in the Michigan House of Representatives since 2022.
Did you just Google Mike Harris?
Yes. When I don't know
Ontario.
something, I try to figure it out.
Google it in Ontario.
Ontario?
When people were running against Mike Harris, they had signs up that said, "Stop harassment."
Okay, I see. Different Mike Harris.
Yeah.
Born in 1945. And you're still alive? Wild.
I mean,
see here.
he hasn't run for ages now, but he did fuck up a lot of shit.
The 1995 referendum on the separation of Quebec. Ipperwash crisis. Oh, there's a whole section in here about the things he's fucked up after being in politics. Damn.
Yeah. He's not a good dude. Like
Mike Harris is a very white name.
Like I don't really remember Mike Harris. I was not of voting age when Mike Harris was a thing, but I remember how much people hated him. So like I can't give you specifics. I'm pretty sure he fucked up our health system. Not as bad as Doug Ford is trying to do, but Doug Ford is just working on the foundation that Mike Harris gave him.
Jeez.
But yeah. Matt Walsh says,
oh boy.
So this is regarding the America 250 thing with a bunch of people dropping out. It says, imagine if conservatives, rather than pathetically crawling around on the ground to lap up discarded pop culture crumbs, actually went out and advanced their own creative and artistic vision. Imagine if we used an event like this to actually elevate our own artists and make them famous. What a crazy thought.
I think he's saying that because he desperately wants to be the famous one, and he thinks he's an artist because he makes documentaries. But
in other news,
I actually agree with him a little bit on this one.
In other news, the Daily Wire, which is the company that was trying to do that, is going bankrupt.
Yep.
So, yeah. What do you get when conservatives actually tried to do that? Chip Chilla.
Daily Wire's trying to do that, and there's a bunch of weird righties on the internet that think that it's because of the popularity of Nick Fuentes that the Daily Wire's hemorrhaging money. I don't understand how, but it's a take I've heard. It's weird. Less Than Lucid says, right-wing art. Well, so, here's the thing, Less Than Lucid. Art is anything that a human produces that can be seen as art. It needs to have human production, and then, like with porn, it's going to be very much eyes of the beholder. I think that any type of art can communicate a message, even if that message is a bad message. So right-wingers 100% can make art. Like 100%.
Sometimes even good art. Tolkien was conservative.
I was about to say, yeah, Tolkien,
and he was amazing.
We owe fantasy to Tolkien.
Watch those businesses die of lack of business. I think Dark Falcon is a little behind in the stream. That sounds like back in the government shouldn't be run as businesses part of the conversation. But yeah, no, so Tolkien, conservative, really good art. But the problem is conservatives today are overly obsessed with culture war bullshit. So they can't just make art. They have to make art that dunks on the lips. So like if you read Lord of the Rings, there's a lot of conservatism in that. The progress, the machines of Saruman are a bad thing, and they're very I know Tolkien doesn't really like allegory, and he wouldn't like me saying this, but it is pretty clearly a statement on modernity, like the machines of war and these mechanistic things. Like that's bad. We need to go back and return to nature and just be farmers and shit. Like that is a very clear through line of the trilogy. Is that like the kind of backwater culture that are seen as like the hobbits are the conservative culture. They're just a bunch of farmers who want to be left alone. And it's Saruman and Sauron who are doing the innovation, and the innovation is bad and it's used for war and stuff. So like it's an inherently conservative book, but it's an excellent book. And he didn't write it to dunk on the libs. C.S. Lewis, on the other hand, was like, fuck Susan, she wore lipstick. And as a result, Narnia, not as good. Because he was more focused on the dunk on the libs part.
Man, I remember when I was in private school and our teacher actually read us, like, would read us a chapter of Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe at the end of every period. Like, that was a good memory.
Yeah, like, I remember enjoying the books, but like looking, it's kind of like a Harry Potter situation. Like, I enjoyed them when I was a Christian kid. Like, looking back on them now, I'm like, yeah, the whole Susan deserves to go to hell because she wore lipstick and liked boys. Like, no, that was why'd you do that, C.S. Lewis? And that's definitely not the only problem with the books, but
Master has given Dobby a Glock. Dobby is thug.
God damn it. Frank Turek says, other faiths will have martyrs, but they think it's true, but they don't know it's true. In Christianity, we have people who saw an empirical claim.
But
allegedly.
No, Frank, no, you have the exact same standard of evidence for your religion as they do.
Uh-huh.
Like, he's...
Like, you don't, like, we have people who knew it was, like, no, you have accounts that at the earliest were written 400 years after they died, claiming that they said it was true, in the same book that they claim that Jesus came out of the tomb as a giant with a talking cross behind him. Like, if you're going to tell me that the disciples dying for the lie or whatever, and they knew it was true, is actually true based on that book, you have to explain to me why you don't also think Jesus emerged from the tomb as a giant with a talking cross.
Like, this is the S.J. Thomason thing. What's the most compelling argument that you have for Christianity? Oh, the martyrdom of the saints. The martyrdom? The fact that they died for it? So you're saying the most compelling reason that the United States military is good is because we have soldiers that died? And that's also the same standard of evidence you would give for, like,
no, but
the
it's
Taliban?
the disciples would have been in a position to know whether or not it's a lie. Everybody else is just convinced that it's true, but they wouldn't actually know that it's a lie. And somehow that is a different thing to them.
Yeah.
Old Gus is saying, yeah, Tolkien
know
was...
that the magician in front of me pulled his fingers through a loop that shouldn't have been possible. So that was magic, actually.
Oh, my thumb comes off. My thumb comes off. Ah!
Yep.
It's not the great angle for that. Old Gus says, yeah, Tolkien was in the trenches of World War I and wrote Lord of the Rings from 1937 to 1949. I think something was influencing his views on modernism in the war. Yeah, no, I'm not disagreeing with that. But it isn't his books, like, if you read them, they are very conservative. That doesn't make them bad. Conservative does not equal bad. Modern conservative usually does equal bad because they are so obsessed with dunking on the libs. But, yeah. Also, Mere Christianity was written during World War II. And it's actually astounding to me that on the same page... C.S. Lewis will be like, hey, using, like, one of the reasons we know that God is real is because all cultures throughout all time have agreed on morality. And then on the same page, he'll be, we can all agree that the Nazis are bad. Like,
but the Nazis didn't agree.
The Nazis don't agree on morality then. Like... it's a new one, Talking Cross. Which book is that from? I want to say Gospel of Thomas, maybe? I don't know. I'm sure Google knows. Let's see what Google's AI overview tells me. Apocryphal book with giant Jesus and talking cross. Gospel of Peter. And that's coming from jmm.org, not the AI overview. I'm pretty sure that's also the one where we get Peter being crucified and like
Peter!
and preaching to people for 2 days while he's on the cross.
Wasn't he also crucified upside down?
No, that was Andrew, I think.
Huh, my teacher lied to me.
Andrew was the X-shaped cross. I don't fucking know. Watch Apologia video. Do I look like Apologia? He's the expert. And he would hate me calling him that.
What are you doing on the cross, Peter?
Hey, Peter. What you doing up there? I know. I'm bad at it. I'm sorry.
Peter.
That's the only person on that show who I could ever get a decent impression of, and I know my impression was bad, so don't worry about it. Yeah. And it's only because my voice is kind of deep sometimes. It's actually a little higher pitched today than normal. I think I've got a thing going on.
Jessa said Peter's cross was the upside down cross. Okay.
I think it depends on the source, because there are a lot of them that it's like, yeah, it was this way in one book, but it was this way in another book. And apologists will be like, well, we don't know which one it was, but we know that it was true.
Hey, Lois, remember that time I was crucified and gave sermons?
Okay, well, Frank Turek is the end.
He is the end of all things.
Oh, I'm glad to be with you, Sir Scamgee, here at the end of all things.
Frank Turek, he has become death, destroyer of worlds.
I was quoting Tolkien.
Well, I never thought I would be here with an atheist.
Okay.
How about with a friend? No.
That wasn't in the book.
But everybody knows the quote from the movie, so...
It was, yes.
Good enough.
It's like, you have my bow and my axe. Oh. Good books, good movies. You know what? I think the movies came out at the perfect time, because if they had been any later, it would have been a CG slop fest, and any earlier, and the effects wouldn't have been good enough.
No,
So it was the perfect time.
It also helps that we had Peter Jackson. Like,
I know, but like even with Peter Jackson, The Hobbit turned into a CG slop fest. Although, if they'd have stuck with Guillermo fucking del Toro for that, it probably would have been better.
Del Toro is good.
Del Toro is good. And he had a bunch of pre-production stuff ready to go, and they were like, nah, we're going to delete all that and hire Peter Jackson again. And then Peter Jackson fucking hated it. You can see in all the behind-the-scenes stuff, he's like napping in the corners all the time because he was exhausted. And
they're
like,
basically telling him, please outdo yourself.
It comes through in the movies where he didn't care anymore. He just wanted to get it done. And then did you go to the theaters to see Lord of the Rings when they re-released it for like the 20th or 25th anniversary, I guess it would have been?
I did not.
So I did. We went to see all three of them. They were the extended editions in the theater, so it's like 4 hours each. And there's like one Friday, one Saturday, one Sunday. And it was great. We loved it.
As God intended.
Yeah. But like they had Peter Jackson record an introduction to each of the movies. And he's an old man now. So he was old man rambling. And it was seriously like listening to Abe Simpson tell one of his stories. And it just kept going and going and going. And then Cyrus, the best part, it got to the end of it. It faded to black. And we're all anticipating the movie starting. And then it came back on, and the exact same old man rant played a second time. The whole thing, all the way through. For every single one of the movies, we got two old man Peter Jackson rants. It was both painful and hilarious. I did get a laugh out of the theater because when at the third one, because it was the same audience at all three of them. It's like
Yeah.
who's going to go to the third one, but not the first and second. So after after his first old man rant on the third one, I yelled out "Encore!" or something like that. I don't remember exactly, but
Because
get
you
a
knew what
little
was going to happen.
yeah, because you knew it was going to happen. A little chuckle out of the audience, and then he did it again, and everybody's going to get popcorn and stuff. It was fun though. 4 hours each. Please tell me there was an intermission in the middle of each movie. No, there was not. That's not how you watch them. So, hey. They are super strict about copyright shit. Don't do that. Yeah, Monty Python, if you use more than like half a second of their thing, they claim you immediately. I don't know how they do it. But yeah, no, it's... So my partner really, really loves the movies. She's never read the books, but she loves the movies to a point where when it wasn't when they first came out, but like a few years later, they were playing on TV, and she was watching them after having a bad day at work or something. I forget the exact details of the story, but while she's doing that, like her boyfriend called, and she answers the phone. She's like, I'm watching Lord of the Rings. And then he's trying to have a conversation with her. She's like, no, I'm watching Lord of the Rings. And then he broke up with her, and she was like, okay, bye. I'm watching Lord of the Rings. Like, didn't phase her. She's like, I'm watching this movie. You cannot interrupt this movie. Doesn't matter. Like, I don't care that you want to break up with me. I'm finishing the movie. Like, that's how passionate she is about watching these movies all the way. Like, we actually had, like, we hadn't watched them together yet because our lives are so busy that we know if you start one of them, you have to go all the way through, and that's a 12-hour commitment. And we never had that. So then when they released them in the theaters, we're like, okay, we're doing it now. We put an onion at our belt like it was the style. Oh, okay. Yeah, Old Man Simpson story. Yeah, Lord of the Rings is serious business. Yes, absolutely.
I'm going to be honest.
And now she kind of hates me because I'm such a big fan of the books. I'll be telling her like, oh yeah, so they did it this way in the books, and that's a little better, and I understand why they did it this way in the movie, but the books are. It's like I hate what they did with Faramir in the movies. I understand why they did it, but I hate that they did it.
I mean, I'm that guy with Dragon Ball. Anytime that, because like Dragon Ball's been redone so many times now. We've got the original Japanese version. We've got the American version that came out initially. We've got the orange box version after that. We've got Kai after that, and they're all the same story, same animation, just different cuts and different dubs and everything. And then of course it's all based on the manga. Any time that I'm watching Dragon Ball, I'm just like, oh yeah, nope, I know why they made this change, because they needed to do this thing because it was culturally relevant at the time, and then they were able to change it 20 years later. If a friend's watching Dragon Ball with me, I will hear "shut up" at least 3 times.
Fennec the Rabbit says, but you need costumes and thematic snacks. We were legitimately offered cherry tomatoes by someone dressed as an elf during the scene where Lord Denethor is eating his cherry tomatoes.
Oh, that's great.
Of course I said no, because my autistic ass is like, I don't know if you washed your hands before touching that.
I know for a fact I haven't washed my hands after all of the blackberries I've eaten today, but that's because I went to the blackberry bush and just started shoveling mouthfuls in.
Okay, well, that's it for the stream. Thank you for joining me. Have a good week. As always, I'll be back on Twitch next week. You can all make me wear hats again.
I can do my job without being as stressed out then. Yay!
I'm sorry. It was my unpaid intern. It wasn't me.
I agreed with everything you said, and if I get in trouble with that,
I notice how you're only vocal about your agreement with everything I said when you're exclusively on my channel.
Okay,
Can't hurt me if I do it on his channel.
I have been having fun in recent videos, literally going, and then there's Vice Rhino, rest in peace, and then continuing. I've had so many people in the comment section go, okay, you need to contextualize that for me. I don't know what's going on. Is something wrong?
Okay.
I've been having fun with it.
Okay. I'm glad you've been enjoying my jail time.
Look, we have to go from you sending me a profuse apology over text to, no, this is actually really fucking funny in hindsight. We have to bridge that gap somehow.
Yeah, but usually the hindsight comes after it's over.
Yeah, well...
So that's next week. Next week is hindsight.
Okay, next week is hindsight. I'm still doing it now.
Okay, Jess is trying to hurry me along, so as always, fuck off.